Alright. That's my sound check. That's like the belly growl. That's my impression of cynical resignation, if you want to know. Alright. Alright. I'm a stand-up comedian, so I do classic jokes. Alright. So me and my wife have been having trouble lately with the love life. Because that's a cliche. Anyways, she suggested we get into role-playing to spice it up. So I agreed because I'm me. Yeah, so now twice a week she pretends to be a waitress at a truck stop, and I pretend to be more attractive. Thank you. So I've been taking pills for anxiety. So far it's been terrifying. Yeah, my doctor keeps telling me he knows what he's doing every time I complain. He says, relax, I know what I'm doing. I say, of course you know what you're doing. You're a great white shark. Yeah, my doctor is a great white shark because I can't afford medical insurance. Yeah, all he prescribes is jump scare videos. Thank you. So people keep telling me I live in a bad neighborhood because I live there. I'm going to project over here. That's not true, though. I actually live in a bad neighborhood because I built my own house. I built all the houses. I didn't follow any rules. I just built them out of bushes. Thank you. So I smoke weed. Like you can tell because I'm a stand-up comic. I smoke tons of weed. Yeah, I smoke weed because short-term memory loss keeps you from remembering constant failure. That's why. Yeah, I think marijuana is a gateway drug. It's a gateway for realizing your boss is an asshole. So I'm a stand-up comic, but I'm an amateur stand-up comedian because I do coke in moderation. I do economically feasible-based coke. I don't do any coke. I can't afford it. However, I do a bunch of acid. I'm a stand-up comedian that does a bunch of acid. Yeah. So I do know a guy with a set of ivory butt plugs. But he's not a comic, he's an artist. Yeah. He has these ivory butt plugs and they're made out of walrus tusks. And he keeps them on a pedestal. And you don't have to worry about it. It's all ethical. I mean, it's ethical ivory. The butt plugs are over 150 years old, so they're grandfathered in. Thank you. Thank you. So I hear nitrous oxide kills brain cells. Like how would I know? Thank you. Oh, gosh. So, sometimes I think the news is fake because it's so condescending. Like everyone's just talking down to you. Like you're an idiot. Like you can't handle facts. Like these people have facts and these people have facts. And they want to explain how accurate their facts are in an extremely stupid manner by just telling you. So that's why I think the news is fake. Also, I think people are holograms. Because I do a bunch of drugs. Yeah, but I think the news is fake. Like I saw a news story the other day where Kermit the Frog was dating other people. Yeah, Kermit the Frog was dating other people. And they caught him in a photograph getting off a plane with a younger, slimmer pig. And it made the news in 170 outlets. That Kermit the Frog was dating something other than Miss Piggy. I thought, this news is pretty damn imaginary. I mean, why is the Kermit the Frog still dating other pigs? Why? He's been dating a pig for 25 years. Why is he still dating a younger, slimmer pig? Why isn't Kermit the Frog dating a Muppet Pelican or something? Or a Muppet Bat? Or a different fabric. The news is not imaginary enough, is what I say. If that's going to be considered real news. Yeah. I saw an actual news story where this guy in Alabama climbed into a river and caught a fish with his own hands. And that was a news story. And then he made the news because he tried to swallow the fish. Yeah, he tried. And then he choked to death on a fish he caught with his own hands. And that was the news. Yeah, it just goes to show you not all people are pelicans. Ugh. Sure, some people are pelicans, but they're magical creatures. You know? Ugh. I could be even more obnoxious now. I've drank almost all of my coffee. So anyways, I'm kind of a famous comedian. I'm a famous comedian. That's like being the Beatles if the Beatles were one guy with scabies. That's right. But I'm not an amateur anymore. I'm actually like somewhat pro. So I gear my material. I gear my material to an audience. And I see things all the time that I think are funny. Like, I saw a news story the other day about revenge pooping. Yeah, did you know that revenge pooping is a crime? I found out it was a crime from the news. Yeah. It's defined by knowing who did it and knowing why they did it. That's what defines revenge pooping. And they actually trotted a guy out from the city as part of his news program. And he stood in the Great Hall in front of some law books. And he said there was 137 cases of revenge pooping in the city of Denver last year. On the news. And he's wearing a tie and everything. And I just looked at the guy. I thought, well, one person can do that. Yeah, one person can like crap on 137 expensive cars in 1 year. Or screen doors. In fact, I started thinking that was advertising for revenge pooping. Because only 137 cases. Nobody even knew revenge pooping was a crime, you know? I always thought, you know, I never actually thought of like crapping on somebody's car as an act of revenge. You know, I always thought I'd just have to die and get reincarnated as a bird before I crapped on somebody's car. Yeah, I thought I'd just get reincarnated as a seagull so people can just get philosophical about it. Now I realize I can just crap on a person's car and leave a note. It gives me ideas. Yeah. It gives me horrible ideas. It gives all of you horrible ideas, you know? I don't even have to tell you. I just want to crap on somebody's car and just leave a note in it saying like, you know, it's gluten-free. Like, that's good revenge. That's revenge on meat eaters if you know they're meat eaters. You know? Or if you wanted to be philosophical about it and people could just misinterpret it. You know, you could say, crap on somebody's car and just leave a note saying, you know, nuclear war is way easier than regular war, you know? Or 99% correct is 100% wrong. You could put that on somebody's crap, your crap. You could actually gather the crap from some other place and then put it in there and incriminate somebody if they actually test for that. That'd be gross, you know? You have to wear gloves and everything. It could be fraud. Revenge pooping could be fraud if you really think about it. You could frame somebody for revenge pooping if it's actually a crime. If science gets that cheap. Oh, man. Anyways. So I'm a stand-up comedian, but I haven't been able to work for a year because of COVID. So now I'm just a mad scientist. That's right, I'm just a mad scientist. I just read a lot of memes on Facebook, and now I think I'm a scientist. Yeah. I had just gotten to science for the arguments. That's what I did. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's like... So it's easy to become a mad scientist now because, like, the standards are so low. So that's what I'm going to do. And first thing I'm going to do is just, like, make a dog without any bones in its face. That's easy to do. There's a lot of soft dogs in the world. I've seen them. And they're all super cute, you know? So they're super attractive to people now because of all the branding. So I just want to keep mating those dogs for like a year until I get a dog without any bones in his face. And you know, it'll always be smiling because, you know, the breed. They'll always be smiling because that's what the face is shaped like. And, you know, it'll always be happy because of what it is. And that'll be like the dog I'm going to be breeding, you know? That's going to be wildly expensive. It's going to be like $31,000. Yeah. I'm going to breed a dog without any bones in his face. That's my big business plan. Yeah. And all these dogs are going to be walking around in these like dog strollers, and people are going to be pushing them. And people walk up to the dog strollers and say, oh my God, your dog is like so cute. Let me give you $19 a month to rescue it from its own genetics. And then they'll throw money at you, and that's how you'll survive, because you'll be an ice cream cart for empathy with a dog like that. Yeah. That's how the stock market is run. It's run on rescue dog extortion stock, you know? $19 a month, that could save the economy. It could save a dog. It could save a dog that doesn't even exist. Like, all of the dogs are probably like rescue dogs now. I mean, if you really are cynical about it. Like, there's no more pet stores yet, you know. Yet there are. And, you know, you need to, if your dog is cute, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And then you can breed dogs. And then you can just rescue them from, like, you know, whatever you come up with. Whatever film you have. All right. There are a lot of dog actors in the world. I'm just here to tell you also there's a lot of dog actors in the world. I know, because I train drug-sniffing dogs for a living. I do. I don't work for the cops, though. I just train them to live in condominiums. Yeah, like good dog actors. Yeah, but I'm here to warn you, if you're going to train a drug-sniffing dog, don't use cocaine to train them. It's super important, because it just trains them to count your money. Yeah, you still crap on the carpet, you know, because of all the microchips that cocaine's cut with. Thank you. All right. Acknowledge that there actually are jokes in here. There are jokes. Yeah. But I'm a stand-up comedian, so I'm jaded by life. I am. I am. I just have business ideas now. I'm tired of living on my knees. Yeah. I need drugs to do normal things, so I have to do my accounting on drugs. Just to stay alive, because I have to make money. I have to acknowledge that I exist. So I always take like 5 hits of acid before I do my taxes. Yeah, that way I can claim an astral body as a blind dependent. Thank you. No, I do that, you know, because that was legal once in 1989, and I was like alive in 1989. So I claimed it as a deduction, and then the stock market crashed, so they took it off the books. But now I claim it religiously every year, because you can do that if you know how to do taxes. Just got to do it right. Yeah. And sure, I've been audited 3 times. In 31 years, I've been audited 3 times. And I never really worry about it, because I just save all my receipts. I save all my receipts in like big tubs. That's how you do taxes. This is what I spent. I can account for it. Look at it. Let's go count. That's how I do taxes. Yeah. So anyways, I've only been audited 3 times. But the last time I was audited, this tax assessor came up to me and says, hey, Mr. Coppolino, it's nice to see you again. Hey, Mr. Coppolino, it says here you have 19 sole proprietorships. We at the IRS want to know how you can have 19 sole proprietorships and be you. Huh. Also, you have 44 limited liability corporations, and you have a non-profit corporation that's exchanging currency between Malaysia and Greece. And we at the IRS want to know how you can possibly exist on $4,000 a year. That's what they always say to me, like the 3rd time. And then I say, well, how do I even know I'm really here right now? And that's how I get out of an audit. I just get whisked off to jail. Yeah, I get whisked off to jail, and I have to do like time for like 2 years. 2 years of time versus 31 years of like not paying taxes. It's pretty great, actually, you know? Ugh. You ever throw up on yourself because you're too fucked up to get out of the way? No, me neither. I have not. I actually threw up on myself so I wouldn't have to clean my car. Yeah, I threw up on myself because I was smart. And I wanted to keep my eyes on the road. That's how you throw up in a car. Yeah. I pioneered that whole technique. Yeah, people should pay me money, you know? Because they charge $500 to like throw up in like a Uber or a Lyft. I could just be giving you advice, and you can like throw up on yourself if you're going to throw up in like an Uber or a Lyft and save you $500. That's worth money. I think it's worth money. I guess I should let people know that I actually sell books at these things. I sell comic books that are made out of jokes. They're for the back of the toilet. So if you'd like to like pick up a joke book while I'm doing a performance, there'll be like some guy like holding them down because of the wind. Yeah, it's like $3 a book, or like 2 for $5 if you want to be frugal about it. But I have like 20 of them, so if you want to listen, scare your friends, you can do it. There's jokes in there. Yeah, there's jokes like this, you know. Hey, I was in an adult bookstore because why else would I exist? Or a joke like this. So my new fetish is looking suspicious. Like, that's a great joke for on the back of the toilet for people to like look at. You want something like that. You want that for $3 or $2.50 if you like decide to get 2 books. Oh man, it's true though. You can actually get books of this. Like, I'm a hardcore nihilist. I am. I just want to get sued so I can get sued into existence. Like, that's all I want to do. Like, that can get sued into existence now. Like, that could be all my advertising. Yeah. I actually want to sell Dark Side Star Wars memorabilia. Yeah. I want to sell Dark Side Star Wars memorabilia. But it's going to be dark side stuff, so it's going to be totally illegal. And I'm just going to sell all the severed limbs from Star Wars in bags to like true fans so they can choke themselves with the hands. Because that's what Star Wars fans are into. At least that's what I think whenever I see them like wearing a t-shirt. Now, as grown adults, I think they're into choking. That's what I think. And if you're into choking, you need some hands, you know, and you need some hands from like the Dark Side Star Wars collection of Star Wars memorabilia. Yeah, I'm going to sell Luke Skywalker's severed hand in a bag for $300. And you know it'll sell. It'll sell so much that people will brag about it. Luke Skywalker hands that get sold for $300 that are all the weight of a real hand, you know? So they're authentic. And they're in bags that are like shaped like Star Wars stuff. People are going to be bragging about buying that on the internet. And then the internet will tell George Lucas about that. It might take a little time, but the internet will find out. And George Lucas will get pissed off because he's losing money. And then he'll just sue me. And George Lucas will just sue me into existence. That's my business plan. Because who wants to make money? I just want to be a spokesperson. I don't want to work. I just want to like advocate for like smoking cigarettes in bars again. That's what I'll be the advocate for. Smoking cigarettes in bars. I hate bar rescue. I'm the advocate for hating bar rescue. I'm tired of like some Guido telling like some yuppies to put a bowling alley in a bar to save it. You don't need to put a bowling alley in a bar because you can fit a bowling alley in a bar. You just got to put out a few ashtrays, and then your fucking career is over because nobody will have to like advertise about that. They can just smoke cigarettes and relax. So that's a great idea. That's the way I should make money. Yeah, bringing back smoking cigarettes in bars. Also, I want kids to start smoking cigarettes. I want kids to start smoking cigarettes because there'll be less school shootings. Yeah, kids will just be relaxed, you know? They won't have to pick up guns. They could just be cool smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of like adult for kids, actually, you know? What else do I want to do? Oh, as part of a mad science scheme, I want to make an athlete's foot medication with nicotine in it. Just so people can get addicted to having clean feet. That's my idea. Get addicted to having clean feet. use some of this cream. It's $9.99. It'll be like $9.99 on a tube, and you'll get like high off of that. And you'll have clean feet as a bonus. Because if you're like me, you have athlete's foot. You know, I'm a spokesperson for that too, because I get tired of smearing cream on my feet. They say it takes 2 weeks to cure it, and I smear cream on my feet for like 3 or 4 days until it dries out, and then then I'm normal for a month, and then it comes back, and I just get pissed off. Also, I buy all my creams at the dollar store because they sell athlete's foot medication for $1 if you look for it. Ugh. They sell condoms for like $1 if you look for it. That's horrible. I don't know if I trust those. Oh man. Durex actually came out with a condom that enhances male sensitivity. I don't know if I trust their advertising. Yeah? Finally though, right? Just what we've all been waiting for as guys. Yeah, that's what we've all been waiting for, and yeah, for added value, each condom is wrapped in a little apology note. Yeah. Because that's what people are into, increased sensitivity. People brag about the stupidest things. You know? They do. Flat earthers brag about being flat earthers. They brag about knowing the truth. They brag so much. Flat earthers actually brag so much that they built their own rocket ship and put an astronaut in the rocket and launched him into space to prove that the earth was flat. The trouble was, they didn't believe in space. That was the trouble. They did not believe in space. They thought there was oxygen in space. So when they built this rocket ship, they built it under the intention that there would be oxygen to burn in space for the engines to run on. But then they got too high, and then their engines burned out because they didn't believe in space. So they crashed. One guy crashed in a really creative suicide and died that way. A flat earther. A flat earther just strapped a jet engine to a tube and launched himself because he believed in aerodynamics. He just copied stuff off other rocket ships and put a jet engine on there and just pointed it straight up. Man. I mean, if you're a flat earther, you don't build your own rocket ship. That's just the easiest way to roast yourself as a flat earther. If you're a real flat earther, you just walk into space. A real flat earther can prove it by walking to the edge of the earth and then peering over it and taking a selfie. Because for some odd reason, flat earthers believe the earth is flat, but they also believe in iPhones and technology. How is that possible? Copernicus? I don't know, This is a long bit, I actually do drugs. I lick toads to get high. It's my favorite drug. Yeah, because the only drug that can have sex and make more drugs. Yeah, you never have to visit a dealer ever again unless you consider a toad a dealer. Because, geez, it's a being. It's a live drug. You could be exploiting your own drugs. But what's the worst a toad can do? It can bite you or crap on your face. That's why you lick the back of the toad. You don't lick the front like some toad pervert. Yeah, you lick the back of the toad. Ugh. But it's great because it has DMT in it, and I'm burnt out now. My spirit animal is dead. My spirit animal is dead. It's just some corporation. It's a Walmart in Akron, Ohio. It keeps telling me I can do twice the work in half the time. And that's the reason I hate my job. Yeah. I'm actually a sociologist. I'm a sociologist. I got a degree in sociology. And I spent 7 years and $150,000 getting a PhD in sociology. And now I know everything there is to know about being an idiot. It's the easiest degree in the world. Getting a college degree in sociology is no way to say you're a doctor. Because you just get a doctorate in copying everyone's answers. That's how you become a sociologist. That's all you do is you copy everyone's answers. And then you pay people to do it. And they give you a degree in it. Yeah. Yeah, so now I'm unemployed kind of. But sometimes they like give me jobs. They're like making me take drug tests at like box stores. But they make me take drug tests while I'm on drugs. So they can test like how the system works. They want to test to make sure they can hire people that are, aren't going to be on drugs. But how can you hire somebody to work at IKEA if they're not on drugs? That's the real situation. So I go there to test them to see how well they lie about it. Yeah, I just load myself up on like speed and and bennies just to balance it out. And I smoke a little weed before I go there, and then I just like apply for the job on those drugs. I apply for the job, and then I immediately get an interview because they're desperate. There's somebody in the office waiting for you, like an army recruiter. And they say, hey, you want to get hired? And that's like the job interview. And so, yeah, I say, I want to get hired. I can do it. I can show up. And they make me take a drug test. And so I take this drug test, pee in this cup, and then the lab calls me back, and they say, oh, to the office. I mean, because they test you right there. And they say, congratulations, you got the job. When can you start, like, metaphorically bagging the fertilizer at our shit factory? That's what I think, whenever I get hired for $12 an hour and everyone lies about it. Me being qualified for the job. So I go to my car and I make a note in the book, and I'm a secret Santa for drugs. I get paid $300 for that gig to just apply for jobs on drugs. That's what I do. I also train drug-sniffing dogs for a living. Yeah, because I have extra drugs. Ugh. These jokes are like awful, aren't they? What other ideas do I have? There's a lot of people that bought a lot of Baby Einstein tapes in like 2002 or 2003. And I just started thinking there's a lot more of them now. There's a lot more of those people that are willing to buy Baby Einstein tapes to give their fetuses an advantage over like all the other like people. So I'm going to make some industrial noise metal for fetuses. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to like traumatize all these fetuses in the womb. Inoculate them against like disaster. Yeah, industrial noise metal for fetuses. Just 9-inch nails and Japanese psychedelia for fetuses. They'll be trapped there listening to it. And then they'll be born, and they'll go, oh, I was prepared to be disappointed. This is like so much better. But they'll just be in the hospital, and then when they get out, it'll be so much worse, and they'll be ready. That'll be a fun joke. That'll be a fun joke to play because those fetuses are going to be smarter. And they're certainly not going to do a lot of meth. Not have to listen to like 4 or 6 like months of like industrial noise metal. They're going to be inoculated against meth. Ugh. That's my plan. That's my plan, I'm going to have those coming out soon. Possibly soon. You could actually do that to somebody. It could be somebody else's idea. Like somebody could actually steal that idea and make that. And make money off of it because people would buy it. Because they believe the science. If it was presented accurately enough. What else do I gotta say? Anyways, I'm Mike Coppolino. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm semi-professional, and I might have done an album. So I've done an album, but I've also like survived COVID, so now I have a bucket list like everybody else. I'm a stand-up comedian with a bucket list. I'm already like depressed. That's right. This year depressed me. I couldn't make any money. So I created a bucket list. So the first thing I'm going to do is like pee in a police car. That's my bucket list, but before I die, Before I die, I'm going to pee in a police car. But I'm not like, going to pee through the window all over the guns during a riot, Not going to be like that, like braggadocious. I'm just going to be busted for tax evasion because that's what I'm going to get busted for. Because of victimless crime because I haven't made any money. But, they'll inevitably bust me for like having a door. And they're showing up. They'll say, where are these taxes? I'll say, I don't know. Check these receipts. And they'll say, no, that's not how taxes work. And then they'll drag me off to jail. They'll drag me off to jail, and I'll have to pretend I'm on drugs while they're dragging me off. Because it'll be like a spur-of-the-moment decision. Because I'm already, look brain damaged. So just 3 seconds in, I'll just be totally on drugs. Slurring and everything. They'll drag me off to the police car, and I'll start crying because, I got caught, finally. And I'll start peeing through my clothes. I just pee all over it. It'll be like a squeegee for this urine. Crying and throwing a fit in the back of the car. And the cops will make fun of me for being such a pussy, and then they'll drag me out of the car, and they'll see all the piss all over the place, and they'll beat the shit out of me. Yeah, they'll beat the shit out of me, but they'll have to clean it. Because I won't clean it, I'll be too broken. Yeah, that's part of my bucket list. Yeah. I also want to get an ass tattooed on my face and a face tattooed on my ass. That's also on my bucket list, because I know retirement's going to be tough as a stand-up comedian. So I figure I'm going to have to tattoo an ass on my face and a face on my ass, and just dig my own pit at some freak show and just wander around in that pit on my hands and knees all naked eating raw chicken, until they say enough. They throw enough coins at me. And then I'll drag myself out of the pit, collect all the change, and do a bunch of office work, because that's what I'm going to be doing in the future. Because that's what the future is going to be relied on. The future is going to be, it's going to rely on a bunch of office work and you having a second job. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to have. Yeah. Also, as part of my bucket list, I want to make a satanic movie that gets 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's what I'm going to do, because, that's the easiest way to get into Hollywood. The easiest way to get into Hollywood is just make a satanic movie. Because you don't need anything for that. You just need a dark room with some tape in there and some contortionists, and you just get them to smile. That's a satanic movie these days. It just scares teenagers. Because teenagers are stupid. And they can't be scared anymore because they've seen too much. They've seen too much reality. They've seen double reality. Yeah, so they can't be scared anymore. So you gotta bend a lot of shit in real life. You gotta have a guy who puts swords through his guts and stuff, and show it to him. And they go, ooh, and they give you money. Yeah, I'm gonna make a satanic movie about that. And I'll get 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, because I'll do it all Slender Man style. Yeah, but no, not really. I'm actually gonna do it. I'm going to make a satanic movie that gets 35% on Rotten Tomatoes. Because I'm aiming high. Yeah, I've already submitted the treatment to Hollywood, and they accepted it. They accepted my treatment for a movie that's about to be made. Yeah. Yeah, it's a movie about a man who inherits a parrot. A man or a boy. An 18-year-old boy who inherits a parrot from his rich, eccentric uncle. And the uncle is a Bohemian Grove Satanist. Yeah, he's some Satanist that lives in San Francisco, and he has billions of dollars, and lives in this cool house on a hill, and he gets played by George Clooney. Yeah, this satanic uncle dies and bequeaths a parrot to his nephew that he barely knows. He's 18 years old. And says, hey, you have to take care of this bird in order to inherit the billions of dollars in this entire vast empire that I've created, with all my financial dealings. Financial dealings. Yeah, and George Clooney wears antlers on his head and dances naked in the woods. That's the big selling point of this movie. But the thing is, this boy, unbeknownst to everybody, has latent schizophrenia. He doesn't know he has schizophrenia, but he's just a bizarre kid. And then he starts getting full-blown schizophrenia, because that's what happens when you're 18. And this kid starts thinking the parrot is talking to him. And the parrot looks like it could talk. Because it's old. It's 80 years old. It's all fucked up and pissed off. And it's tired of learning dance moves. And it doesn't have a huge vocabulary. Let's be honest, George Clooney taught it a lot of stuff. Because he wanted to be remembered. So this bird has like a vocabulary of 2,000 words. And this boy inherits the parrot, and then he goes insane. And the parrot starts telling him to do devil shit. Of course it does, you know? Because it's right there. And it starts telling him to kill people. And the kid just doesn't want to do it, so the parrot starts giving him stock tips. Yeah, the parrot just starts giving the kid stock tips, and the stock tips really work. And that's actually the secret to the whole movie. That's why this guy was making billions of dollars. Because he had this parrot with him, and the parrot was telling him like all this devil shit. And it still tells this kid to do devil shit, and the kid just does it because it thinks, oh, I'm just making tons of money. So what happens is, like, whole countries start dying. Whole civilized countries start dying, like, because all the other countries were uncivilized, you know? But the thing is, they just got sucked out of all effort, and now they just exist. So all these other countries are going to, like, just exist. Yeah, because they don't have any money. Like, where did it all go? And then this guy will just keep making all this money because the bird just keeps telling him what to do. And he'll invest it all in his biotech, and the biotech will create a virus that like kills everyone. Yeah, that's what will happen. Like, everyone will die. Even the people that have money, everyone will die. Because of all these wise investments that this kid makes. But the kid wasn't making them. This parrot was making all these investments. Because that parrot wanted to kill everyone. Yeah, he's 80 years old. He's been living on a stick for 80 years. And he's just listening to George Clooney for 65 of those years. And was tired of learning all these dance moves. So it just engineered like a whole way to be like intelligent and smart. And it just did that. And then everybody dies. And like whole cities are burning at the end of this movie. And all the parrots and crows meet together in like a cornfield. And they just like, you know, nudge each other and say, hey, you know, while the city's burned, we have all the corn we can eat. This is great, you know, this is really great. And then the forests start growing again, and the jungles start growing again, and like parrots and crows just kind of like fly together all in perfect harmony. And that's how the story ends, like witchcraft almost. And the movie's going to be called Polly Wants a Fortune. Yeah, Polly Wants a Fortune. I actually made that treatment up. And I sold it to Hollywood. And they bought it for like $27,000 because that's like the wages. That's a standard money for making a treatment in Hollywood. It's like $27,000 in like 1999 money. Because no one pays anybody anymore. Like there's no sort of like strike at the Writers Guild. Like there's not even agents anymore. Like Kim Kardashian killed all the agents in Hollywood with her big ass. Like, there's no room for talent with that going on. Ugh. So anyways, that's I made $27,000 that way. By, like, complaining about Hollywood. And they made a movie about it. But they didn't really make a movie about it. They just sold the treatment. And they gave me first rights to make the movie. Called Polly Wants a Fortune. I'm going to make it. But I'm just going to spend the money on drugs. And then, like, start, like, soliciting, like, donations. To make this movie. And it's a movie starring George Clooney, but it's not going to be that movie. That's just going to be like the framework for the movie. But the real movie is me auditioning parrots for that movie. That's right. I'm going to audition parrots for a satanic movie about birds. As part of a movie called Polly Wants a Fortune. And that's going to be my movie. But it's not going to be a movie. It's going to be a reality show. Where I evaluate all these birds for a movie. Because, you know, you got to see that. A bunch of parrot trainers, like, they all have to be crazy. Just keep talking to a bird competitively until it, like, learns all this language. Just so it could be a parrot actor in real life, and now there's CGI. All those people are going to be desperate to, like, get their parrots in a movie. And I'll be there, like, auditioning those people, you know. But it's a 2-parrot limit. It's a 2-parrot limit because, you know, can't bring all your birds. Just the most talkative or whatever, like, skills you want them to have. Birds. And I'll evaluate them. I'll, like, look at their beaks, look at their eyes, look how mangy they are. You know, measure them. And I'll see what kind of actors they are. I literally will see what kind of actors these birds are. Because birds can act. Birds can totally act. They're smart. So you gotta like see if they're all lovey and bitey, at the same moment. Can they do it? And then I'll film them, and that'll be like the movie. That's like an awesome movie. Yeah, I'll just evaluate to get the cream of the crop. I'll end up with like Star Search of birds. There'll be like 10 birds left, And I'll tell them like, oh, your birds qualify for like being in this movie. Like they're super talented. But you got to train them now. You got to train them to say invest in blood. It's like important for the movie. You got 2 weeks to train these birds to say invest in blood. You got to do it right away. They got to know their lines because we got to map their algorithms. And then they'll like go home and like train those birds as hard as they can. And they'll come back and they'll evaluate their birds. And they'll all say invest in blood. Then I'll tell them to read the whole script. I want them to be the Arnold Schwarzenegger of parrots. And then they'll do it. They'll do all of it. They'll know all the lines because they've been training their parrot the entire time. It's a reality show. And then I'll evaluate all these parrots and I'll pick the best one. And it'll be called Polly Wants a Fortune. And nobody will know anything is being exploited. That's a great show, right? That's a good pitch. Yeah. So I'm going to make that. I'm going to make that for like a year or so because I'm going to get tired of it because why would I do that? And then yeah. And then I'll take the money from those 2 ideas and, I'll just move to Belize and do cocaine with Woody Harrelson. That's what I'll do. Because why not? I'm interesting. No, I'll just smoke a bunch of weed with Willie Nelson. Maybe. I'll stutter through it, Because that's a possibility. Ugh. I'm a great accountant, though, Ugh. No, I'm sure I'm going to do like a year or something. Because of COVID. Like they finally caught me. Ugh. I'm so paranoid. I smoke a bunch of meth. And I make aliens wrap their apartments in tinfoil to keep me from taking over. Ugh. This is like relentless. I could just keep going. But I'm not going to. Because this is like an album. And that's enough. So I've been my Coppolino. I've been at the Punch Bowl Social Diner parking lot. It's been an AstroTurf show. Because they still have the AstroTurf up. They can walk around on it. It's like an artificial picnic of a show. And they have picnic tables that they stacked. They didn't even chain them up. They just don't want you to unstack them. So don't unstack them, for God's sakes. They'd be like advertisement for a show or something. And, they want to like make money off a show possibly at this place that's pretty large. Also, they have a diner sign. And they're on First and Broadway. And they're a huge parking lot. And there's going to be times when they're not going to have much business. But then they may have tons of business. They may want comedians in parking lots. Because why not? There's a comedian in a parking lot. There's 3 of them. Like this. Like people would just show up. And then they would go like eat. And then come out. And drink. And just do that. Like that'd be fun. Why not? This is like parking lot is huge. I have business ideas. I'm like not some idiot. Anyways, that's been my time. I've been my Coppolino. I invited a bunch of people out here to do some comedy, but they didn't show up. And yeah, I guess that was short notice. What can you do on a Saturday, anyways? Thank you very much. I've been my Coppolino. Have a great day. I have books for sale. I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm on YouTube. I just released this album that I just recorded for 50 minutes on YouTube. And it was pretty good. So I have cards too. I'm not just going to totally exploit everyone in public. All right, thank you very much. I've been my Coppolino. Have a great day. Enjoy it. All right. Ugh. Ugh. All right. 44 minutes. Ugh. That's about right, though. I mean, how aware do I want to be for nothing? Do I wait till 45 minutes just because? No, I stop it right here. Thank you, and this is kind of an audition, too. Thank you. I've been Mike Coppolino. Have a great day. Thank you.